Question 2 from the homework. In the following chemical reaction between hydrogen and nitrogen to produce ammonia, what is the mass of nitrogen needed to completely react with 0.66 grams of hydrogen to produce 3.71 grams of ammonia? So the mass of ammonia is irrelevant in this case. All we need to know is the mass of hydrogen and then the moles of hydrogen, right? The first thing we do in any of these calculations is we go from mass to moles. So I have 0.66 grams of hydrogen, right? I can't do anything with that other than to find moles of hydrogen. I know for every 1 mole of hydrogen, I would need 2.02 grams of hydrogen, right? Go to the periodic table, look up hydrogen is 1.01. I have 2 hydrogens in H2. So 0.66 divided by 2.02, I'm going to have approximately 0.3267 moles of hydrogen. Now, ultimately, I need to know how much nitrogen I need to react with this many moles of hydrogen. Because thinking of this reaction as a recipe, right, if I knew I'm making bread and I need 2.5 cups of flour and 1 cup of water, right? Well, in this case, I know how many cups of flour I have. That's the hydrogen. I need to find out, based on that, how many cups of water I would need. That's the nitrogen. So based on the 0.3267 moles of hydrogen, I need to determine how many moles of nitrogen I would need. For that conversion, right, we would go to the recipe. The recipe tells us for every 3 moles of hydrogen, you need 1 mole of nitrogen. We need 1/3 as much nitrogen as hydrogen. So to do that conversion, for every 3 moles of hydrogen, I have 1 mole of nitrogen that I need for that reaction. Using our dimensional analysis, we see that moles of hydrogen cancel 0.3267 divided by 3, and we determine that I need approximately 0.1089 moles of nitrogen. We're not done there because we were asked to find the mass. So now, right, now that we found moles of nitrogen, we can determine the mass of nitrogen because I know for every 1 mole of nitrogen, we go to the periodic table, look up nitrogen. Nitrogen is 14 grams per mole. I have 2 of those, so I would need to have 28 grams of nitrogen for every 1 mole of nitrogen. Multiply that by 28, and we get 3.0495 grams of nitrogen. For significant figures, I have 2 significant figures here. I have 3 significant figures here, so I should report to 2 significant figures. So I would take a look, and I would see that for this question, right, 2 significant figures, I would cut off everything after the 0. I'm cutting off a 4. 4 is less than 5. So I'd have approximately 3 grams of nitrogen I would need in this reaction to react with completely 0.66 grams of hydrogen. You should feel very comfortable with this process going from mass to moles. Then, after I went from mass to moles, I used the molar coefficients from the balanced chemical equation as my ratio to convert from moles of hydrogen to moles of nitrogen. Once I had moles of nitrogen, then I could use the mass of nitrogen, the molar mass of nitrogen, to convert from moles into grams of nitrogen based on the hydrogen in which I started. You should be able to start at any step in this process.